So this was sent in by Discord member and future paperclip Bullethead. Thank you, Bullethead, for the great submissions in our Discord server. You can join it at fake.to/Discord. Also a link in the description and the show notes. This is a pretty neat little thing, Perry. It's called MMADA Parallel. Parallel Multimodal Large Diffusion Language Models for Thinking Aware Editing and Generation. And we're going to take that nasty mouthfeel and spit it out, and we'll talk about what it actually is. What you can see on screen is a good demo of what it is. It is generating an image and text in parallel. But unlike an LLM, if you remember several episodes back, we did that thing about diffusion language models. Do you remember, Perry, where instead of sequential tokens, it's like noise tokens, and then the text is getting edited non-sequentially, like stuff gets inserted in the middle, in the beginning. Yeah. And what this is doing is using that text generation through diffusion while it's generating an image through diffusion, and it is cross-pollinating those sort of tokens together to improve the image generation process to better understand what the user's intent was.
That is trippy.
It's really cool. Now, this is very nascent. I think large diffusion language models, I might be getting, you know what I mean? I might be getting like the order of those words wrong. I think those are still kind of in their baby state because there's not many big providers building them. So this is not like a super technically impressive thing, but it is a fascinating one. I'm going to jump to the research paper for a moment because I've highlighted a few things that help break down what's going on. I'm going to start with their introduction. Don't worry, I'm not going to read this entire block of text, but this sets this up very well. Recent advances in multimodal generative models have achieved remarkable progress in instruction-based image generation and editing. We're all familiar with that. You ask ChatGPT or Gemini to make something. Given diverse textual prompts, these models can produce visually coherent and semantically aligned results across a wide range of tasks. However, these models often struggle with complex instructions that require reasoning over world knowledge, frequently leading to incorrect editing and generation. We've all probably experienced that too. You're like, make this tree blow in the wind, and it's just the tree again. I tried to get Google Gemini to make me a picture of the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile on fire flying over an overpass, and it could not get it right. To mitigate this problem, a lot of models introduce reasoning steps before the visual generation. So it'll iterate over your prompt and try and come up with a better prompt behind the scenes to feed to the image generation. But they point out that there is a error propagation that can happen. If it doesn't fully understand your prompt and it's going front to back as it generates the prompt, it'll feed to the image thing. Anything gets wrong just gets propagated, fed to the image thing. So there's no sort of talking back and forth. And they found that on certain benchmarks, the inclusion of reasoning can, in fact, reduce the semantic fidelity of the generated images. They have some examples here where they show that sequential generation can suffer from vague or incorrect reasoning, whereas parallel generation helps align text and images at each denoising step, which helps reduce hallucinations and errors. Their whole thing here is, what if multimodal models could generate text and images in parallel? We prompt a powerful vision language model with data triplets. So input image, edit instruction, output image, sourced from widely adopted image editing and generation data sets. The vision language model is tasked to generate a reasoning trace that explains the edit process. So on one side, it's asked to explain what it's editing and why. And on the other side, it's generating the image. And each token is getting, fed back in real time. So as the image is edited, the reasoning changes. As the reasoning changes, the image editing changes to try and get it closer and closer to what the user's intent was, in a way that's very cool to watch happen too. And they found that during the parallel denoising process, the image region corresponding to a specific semantic concept is often refined simultaneously with its textual counterpart. So they've gotten this cross-pollination working. This paper is pretty fascinating and pretty well written. I would definitely encourage you to check it out if you're of the nerdy persuasion, but we're just going to try it. I have, I played with it a little bit before the show and I actually ran out of my free Hugging Face GPU credits. So I I made a second account, don't tell Hugging Face, so that we could do this. I'm giving it the input image of our podcast show art. So the FAIK Files logo. And I'm giving it the instruction, this is the logo for a podcast, the FAIK Files. It is a stylized folder with bold outlines and line work. The background is a blue circuit board with a big fingerprint on the top left. The N2K network logo is in white in the bottom right corner. We need to keep every aspect of this image the same, except we must change the text to read the fart farts. Keep everything else as close to the original as possible, except the new text. And so I'll hit generate, and we'll get to watch in real time as it spins up. It'll take a second here, and then it'll start generating the image on the right and the textual reasoning on the left. and you can see these placeholder noise tokens. So the reasoning starts out.
It moved to FAIK Files really fast.
It got the FAIK Files, and I bet you it's going to get stuck with that. It did replicate the N2K in the bottom corner, which is cool.
Nice.
You know, it's paying attention to the semantic content of the prompt. So
at one point, it put N2K at the very top of our FAIK Files logo instead of the, it looked like. But it's trying to stay the right now.
It's choking a little bit on it, but it's coming together pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
It has understood the semantic concepts pretty well. It's really fun to see it work. But so as an example, the reasoning trace says, to transform the question image into the answer image, I need to focus on the following changes. And then it was listing out text change, color scheme, background. And so as it was reasoning through that, it was adjusting those various things in the image, and they were talking back and forth. And you could kind of see it in real time, like as the bits that it was reasoning about were being talked about, those things were being changed on the image.
Yeah.
The result is not very impressive because, again, this is like a very nascent thing. It says the FAIK Files. The top of the A has some nonsense over it. It got the thumbprint. It got the circuit board. It got the N2K logo. Everything that I specifically semantically specified was right. It didn't copy the visual style all that well.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. I wonder what would happen if we threw that same prompt and image into ChatGPT and asked it, or Google's Nano Banana.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's go to gemini.google.com, and then we'll go ahead and paste in the prompt. I'll paste in the image as well, and then let's go ahead and say go, and let's see how well it handles that. Because this is just a total different pipeline, right? Because when we're talking about the other thing, it was that parallel generation. This is serial generation, auto-regressive generation through Google Gemini 3.
So that first one is creating an entirely new image. This one there's a chance it's going to just do like in painting is what it's called, where it just goes in and like selectively removes and replaces stuff. Oh,
and the result is infinitely better. I will say
it got it
literally perfect. So it's not like a thing that is going to be replacing the way that we're doing image generation right now. But as far as like an alternate pipeline that I think maybe if more people are contributing to and like developing upon, we could see other applications for it.
I mean, we've seen these things increase in goodness exponentially over short amounts of time. So I can imagine it's going to be great. Just for the sake of, I guess for the heck of it, open up ChatGPT and see if you can do the same thing there.
ChatGPT. Okay. I've pasted in the picture and the prompt.
ChatGPT is like infuriatingly slow in how it does its image generation. So we may be here for a minute.
I will say that I was impressed by how fast Nano Banana cranked that last one out too. That
was super fast.
Nano Banana has been somewhat impressive. I did not expect to be impressed by it because again, Gemini had been lacking behind for so long. But
Nano Banana kind of blew everybody out of the water. Like, I mean, to the point where it's now integrated into Photoshop.
Because, oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought I thought Adobe had their own models that they were building for that.
They've got their Firefly models, but they're expanding out. So when they realize that somebody does something as good or better than them, they're importing, they're just kind of bringing that in.
That makes sense. And I mean, Microsoft, same kind of thing, right? With them opening up to other models. We experienced an error when generating images. Sometimes I think that happens and then you refresh and it's fine. Let's try again. Take two.
I think Gemini struggles less with server load as well.
Yeah. Well, ChatGPT's got the Kleenex effect for it now. Right now everyone calls AI ChatGPT in like casual conversation.
We would call that the Xerox effect.
The Xerox effect.
Yeah.
I haven't heard Xerox in a long time.
Right. Well, that would be like the, make a copy of something. Mm-hmm. I guess it could just be the Coke effect too.
I was going to say the Hellman's effect, but nobody calls mayo Hellman's. Duke's mayo is better anyway. If you live in a place that has Duke's mayonnaise, oh my God, it's the best. Hey, there it is.
Hey.
That's okay. So why don't we go ahead? I will copy this. We'll go back to Gemini, open image in new tab, and then I'll open the other image in the new tab. So this is the difference between Gemini and ChatGPT's attempt to change our logo into the fart farts.
One?
This one with the correct lightness in the AR, like there is in the AI of FAIK, is from Gemini. And the one that doesn't have the contrast exactly as I envisioned it is ChatGPT.
Right. Okay. The shapes are more pleasing in the ChatGPT one. The lighting is more pleasing in the Gemini one.
It did definitely do in-painting, though. Look at how none of the background changes whatsoever.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's some quality difference, I think resolution difference perhaps, but it looks like it's very in-painted. And for the record, this logo for the show is not AI generated. I drew this by hand, painstakingly. Not the farts, but the original one. So I'm very familiar with every inch of this thing, and it got most of it pretty darn right, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
So anyway, and then again, to compare that to the subject of this segment, which is this is the one from that parallel generation that we
it's
did.
Cute. So. It looks like almost a Star Wars, like a Lego Star Wars type of thing.
I will say this is kind of comparable to the results you get when you use like a small local model to try and do image generation and editing. And so I think if that's where this is now, maybe just a few more steps of refining and scaling and figuring out how to make it work. Maybe this will be better at processing semantic content, because their paper certainly seemed to point to noticing some increases, at least over this model that's called Bagel, GPT and GPT-4o also. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think give it a year.
Yeah, give it a year. But these diffusion language models are fascinating, and now seeing them work in parallel like this, I think is very cool.
Yeah.
That's all I got for that. Now it's back into the world of darkness, right, Perry? Don't you have something spooky for our last segment?
I don't know if it's spooky. It's just more news, disinformation stuff. And yeah, I mean, that's where we are with life. So
that's pretty spooky. We'll be right back.